How are we? Well, today is not as beautiful and sunny as yesterday, so it's a bit colder and a bit wet. So mind you, it hasn't rained that much, but expecting it later on today and tomorrow. So yeah, things are changing everywhere, and all eyes are on Austria at the moment, particularly with their mandate for the unjabbed. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm not quite sure, but I have my suspicions. So I think they may be gaining a lot of momentum, particularly in places like Australia, etc., where the potential for fairly draconian legislation is being passed. And I did notice that one senator, what's her name, Pauline Hanson, who I'm not a big proponent of, but nevertheless, I don't like too many politicians, to be honest, but she wanted to pass some legislation for unvaccinated people to maintain their rights. I think that's fantastic, that's great. But anyway, so Jackie Lambie, a two-headed senator from Tasmania, who used to work for the army in Australia, the ADF, came out and attacked her quite vehemently. So yeah, sad really. So when you have people like that who obviously don't want any rights for the unvaccinated. So I don't know how that's going to go for Jackie Lambie, and I don't particularly care. I genuinely don't care, but just sad when you've got that sort of stuff happening. But another thing that I've noticed in the last couple of days is Facebook's launched Meta. I did briefly go through some of their video regarding their offerings and their vision for the future, and basically people just interacting in some sort of virtual world. And there was one thing like that, like an online program, maybe 20 years ago. Strange sort of stuff, and I think that's where things are going, isn't it? I think we're sort of heading into a new sort of paradigm or era where these people are trying to gain greater and greater strongholds in people, in their lives, in themselves, and some pretty crazy stuff. I remember watching a Dusk movie with my wife a couple of years back, and two AI assistants were manipulating things so that two young people would come together in love. So the text messages these people would text to each other weren't actually what they'd sent, but what AI had predicted that they needed to say. So it's basically the AI, two AIs colluding against humans. I think we're probably on the cusp of that. We're in the middle of it at the moment. But so yeah, very strange times indeed. But I think when you start seeing things really fall apart, people will recede back into these virtual worlds where they have a sense of control. They have a sense of the ability to make what they want. In this physical world that we actually live in, it's probably a virtual world anyway. Some of the greatest physicists and theorists think that this is some sort of holographic universe. Yeah, so they're basically saying that you're going to be able to interact with this virtual universe called Meta. Go to work, hang out with friends in some sort of superheroes type environment. Some people will be floating, and it just sounds like a nightmare. I think this is going to basically unleash a level of psychological dystopia and dysfunction that we have never even imagined. I can basically envision people literally wasting away to the point of death because they will live every waking moment in these fantasy worlds. As I said, this physical world is limited in resources. That's what makes it so difficult. And you've got to make the right decisions. You've got to make the right choices. Otherwise, things go astray pretty quickly. But you can basically see that this is going to end up in some sort of meta world, a virtual world where, these AIs are going to be able to interact with you in such a deep and profound way that you're not even going to comprehend just how well they're going to be able to predict your next move, understand you in a way that you have no comprehension. Even right down to reading your micro mannerisms, your movement, your response to certain stimuli. It's just going to be insane. So just a word of warning, be very cautious with this stuff. I mean, I know I'm shouting all these alarms at the moment, be cautious, but you really have to. And I mean, you've got to wonder, it's the interesting timing of them releasing this. Oh, you can go to work. We know that a lot of people haven't been able to go to work for the last 18 months, 2 years, because of certain circumstances. We all know what that is. And but now you'll be able to stay at home and interact with all of your friends and your colleagues right from the comfort of your own home, still wearing your tracky dacks. That's a pretty scary idea. So it's just messed up. So while everybody's retreating into this sort of virtual fantasy world, I'm going to go full hog into this real world. And I'm going to do everything I possibly can. So yeah, it really is. It's time to really wake up and grasp this. So anyway, look, if you haven't subscribed to the Overseas Exiles channel, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you get notifications. And keep an eye on the overseasexiles.com website and sign up to the forum so you can enjoy and contribute to the discussion for everybody who wants to relocate or has relocated, and a lot of cool tips and tricks and different products that are available. And I will stay in touch with some more videos. As I said, I'll be over on the forum for Overseas Exiles. Go and sign up, but don't be shy. And remember, be respectful. All right, thanks guys.